welcome to the stream. It's Let's Sculpt January day 9. Tragic. We're still going strong. We're almost 1/3 of the way. Strong is a strong word. I was kind of still doubting if I should continue the sculpt from yesterday, but I'll just get behind then. I published it. I'm over it. It's all fine. Stream is running. We're just gonna do something new. I'm not gonna do something too hard today. I have a limited time window today. I can do until like 3:30 maybe. So that gives us enough time. It's 2.5 hours. So let's just I'm just gonna go Google tragic backstory. Let's see what we can find here. Years ago I did a Snape from Harry Potter, so revisiting that could be a challenge. But then I would like to have a more stylized version, maybe. Alan Rickman is amazing. Maybe I'll do him next year when I feel more confident in making realistic humans. Although this concept is pretty nice. Let's see here. No, let's make a Marvel character. I don't want to like make a specific actor or person, because then the biggest challenge is gonna be likeness, and that kind of consumes a lot of. So instead, let's make a character where the emotion kind of reads the topic a little bit more. So we'll make a character. Well, I'll base myself off of some character concepts I see appearing online. I'm just gonna start to make the eye holes. It's not really how things are done, but you know, just gonna start out with a basic shape. Get everything in place so we can start moving things around. This looks terrible when I'm just making shapes, so I can then put all the shapes in the right position, right? I think there's better ways to do this, but I just like to explore a little bit the brushes and all that. I'm just gonna flatten out because this is just first want to shape right. How's everybody doing? Welcome to the stream. Thanks for the likes. I'm not gonna make a female character. I'm gonna do that once I have more time again. There we go. Our basic shape going. I kind of want a slumped over character. Looking down maybe a little bit. It's tragic, you know. I'm just being very sketchy at the moment. I'm just sketching in 3D basically. I was kind of thinking about making a Joker again as well. So I made a Joker last year, but kind of learned a lot since then. Kind of see the mistakes I've made. Just gonna inflate this part. I'm listening to some epic music at the moment. I might make this a little bit more calm, because that's a bit too cinematic for my taste. I mean, I like listening to it, but it's a little bit too distracting when you're working. Let's put on some jazz. It's been a while since I listened to jazz. I'm listening to Jazz Cafe music with Rain, 10 hours. Still got music enough now. Yes, good. Get those creative juices flowing. Excuse myself if you hear my jaw snapping a little bit too much. I'm having a little bit issue with that. Should see a doctor or something. Put the skull higher and the neck longer. He has tiny hands, like, hello, I'm flying. Let's make this to proper shoulders. Man, it sounds like it's really raining now. It isn't, Brett. No. It sounds exactly like what it would sound like if it was raining here. Okay, let's flatten this out. I'm annoyed by this. There we go. Hi, Xidian. You're new. How you doing? Are you new? Welcome to the stream. Post 3 of the pieces I'm more proud of on my art station. So if you want to check that out. So let's get some shapes in here, right? I'm gonna put on my character reference. Yeah, I'll put on some reference for yeah, this one is nice. I think that is a little bit too much front. I want this in a straight line. A little bit of thicker jaw. A muscular man. Use the shoulders for it. This to go there. Just trying to fill out the shape here. Let's start cutting in here for the eyebrow. The general shape of the skull here. I'm gonna do a little bit things a little bit different this time. I'll make a big ear here. I think I got too addicted to the grab brush. So, like, maybe I approach this too much like traditional sculpting, where you know you plump down a little bit of clay and then just grab the clay and kind of push it around. But yeah, why not? Like, I'd rather become accustomed to one brush where I can do everything with than starting to find 500 brushes. Like, one thing scaring me from learning ZBrush is just the amount of brushes. Because I think, whom did I ask? I asked somebody like what they're missing from Blender. That's, I don't mean this in a way like that Blender has all the features that you need, but I never really bothered to learn ZBrush. I dabbled in it a little bit, but couldn't be bothered. A little bit more of a stable nose here. Yeah, that's what I meant when I said stable. But more or less of a dot nose and a little bit more of a... I'm going for all manliness today. Just to compensate with yesterday. How long have you been doing 3D? Sorry for my English, I don't speak it well. Well, it's well enough. That is a broad question. One I've answered many times. I came in touch with 3D in my first bachelor's degree in game development. 2010, 2011, 2010, yeah. But really only started doing 3D in 2013, maybe 2012. I'm really getting interested in 3D characters and 3D animation. Started my first job, like an internship in 3D in 2014, I think. and a small studio, and after that I started freelancing, but did more video because I never really knew what I wanted. Like, did I want to do video or 3D animation? Like, I'm a storyteller, I like to tell stories, so the medium doesn't bother me that much, but the thing I like about 3D is I can do it alone. I like to work in teams, but like, if you're making video kind of dependent on those teams, or you're stuck in a very set genre. Like, if you can make videos alone, of course, why not? But like, if you're not making fancy VFX, or you're making something that can be produced with one person, you kind of need a team. And I've had so many troubles throughout the years just getting people together, or just working with, I'm gonna be honest, I worked with people who took it for granted, to be sure. Like, people who were passionate on around the writing table, right? People who were but then at some time they got more they were more like waiting for like these were people that saw, I'm not holding a grudge, because I'm still friends with some of those people, but I think they became a bit more self-aware throughout the years. We were very young. This was all like in 2007, 8, maybe. And even later, like, I always work with these, I don't want to say types of people, because it's not really a type, it's more like, I should make my eyebrow a little bit more separate from the eye here. Just gonna put my eyes in here, just like trying to get a basic shape going before we start putting in, like, it's gonna be a simpler sculpt today. I'm not gonna be bothered with something too complex. It's a little bit laid back, you know. So then tomorrow we can, what's the topic tomorrow? Old. Tomorrow we make an old man, you know, and now we'll get back into the hard stuff in the weekends when I have a bit more time. Oh god, I look super angry now. I'm always trying to find new ways. But what was I about to say? Yeah, I worked with, I think this is an issue that I myself had. Sure, I'm just gonna put in a lot more detail in here. 0.01. I kind of noticed that, like, it doesn't matter how many polys I have. Like, I don't need to put my level of detail stuck to the amount of polys. But the only thing that bothers me is that the smooth brush kind of doesn't work anymore with high poly counts on a bigger scale, which is logical, I think, because it calculates in between. I think I would love a smooth brush that worked more on how big the brush is. Like, so now if I smooth this, it smooths it out, sure, but I would expect, like, if I use this big of a brush, that I would flatten the face a lot more. And that would happen a lot faster with a lower poly count. But that's my only restriction, that I use low poly counts in the beginning. Because, I mean, you can still be rough with a high poly count. I don't think you have to look at your poly count too much when, like, trying to differentiate between high poly count and low poly count. So I'm just trying to define the eyebrows here. Already kind of, I have a nice reference going, and I'm trying to see what kind of makes it look tragic, you know, because it's a character that kind of looks more tragic, and I'm kind of trying to find the features that kind of define that you kind of see. There's some scars that kind of show it, but you shouldn't look angry. I think I want to know it's a little bit more sturdier, but skinnier. I think the nose should be pushed in a little bit. Gonna have this shape more. Put the cheekbones a little bit more in front. Check the mouth line. Already pushed forward, so it's correct. I think in general I kind of want a longer face. I think like putting the eyes deeper. Yeah, I should finish my story first. So I worked with people that were really like more focused on what they had to gain of the end product than actually creating the product. And I think like, no, I was there once as well. Like, for instance, if you start out on YouTube, you're more focused. The danger is to be more focused on what you can achieve than like doing those first steps, right? So what I'm talking about is like if you're like, there are people who start vlogging and already think like, I'm gonna make content like once I get famous or once I get like 1 million subscribers, or even like more laid back goals like 10,000 subscribers. We're almost at 10,000 subscribers, guys. But I think like I made a lot of channels throughout the years. I made a lot of content on YouTube, and I note one trend I noticed is the videos that got most views throughout the years were the videos I didn't want to get a lot of views, or didn't have the intent to, but where the intent was my passion or teaching. Like this channel just blew up because I just wanted to teach people stuff, right? Just gonna, and I think there's people who just can't let it go, that like they are like, this is the goal I set for myself, I want to reach that, and it's fine, but then they start focusing around that goal, and I don't think that's productive to anybody. So again, I'm just making shapes and I'm putting them in the right place. This is the same thing I do with modeling. People who've seen me model, it's like what I tend to do is get the topology there and then push everything in shape. So I start from a topology first methodology, where I will, if I create a face, if I start modeling it, I will force the topology first, and it's so out of shape, and then I will just push everything in shape and then smooth it out so the topology is smooth, and I will even use sculpting tools to smooth out the topology. And I think like I never got this method taught, but I think I'm more of a fixer dude than creating it from than trying to create it right from scratch. Of course you get better to like getting this shape right, didn't have to correct too much, but I like to correct my own mistakes more than I like trying to get right from the first time, right? I would make a terrible real-life painter, I think, because I would just be like trying to correct. I mean, it's just like true for every artist somewhere, right? You kind of want to correct your own mistakes, but I think my methodology kind of goes a little bit too far for traditional painting and stuff. So yeah, I kind of want to, I'm going to go into more detail already. Kind of try out if I can stay rough with a high poly count, because then I'll just change my hey, sculpt default cube and say it's tragic because its fate is to be deleted. The default cube meme will never die out. Hey, Technical Trek, how are you doing? Welcome back. Yeah, Gregor. I'm just gonna call you Gregor. It's like the default cube meme is. I think it's so funny. Like, I think the 1 minute channel, the 1 minute tutorial channel, kind of pushed the meme to its to another level. It's a good joke though. think there was somebody who wrote a script that deletes the default cube, but visibly. So you open up Blender, you see the default cube, and then a second later it gets deleted. That's so cruel. But this was a while ago. Yeah, I think it became kind of a meme because all the tutorials out there were like, yeah, you go into Blender, you delete the default cube. But then there were people who said like, why not just delete the default cube like from the startup file? But that's no fun. Error, YouTube is not receiving enough data. Now we have a good connection. If there's trouble with the sound or so, let me know. No, this is just a good practice in faces in general. And putting personality in faces. I hate this part. I hate doing noses. I should do the shape first before I do the nostril hole, I guess. I should practice more noses. That's definitely one of my weaker points. We saw that yesterday as well. Like, my noses are not up to par with the rest of my skills. I'm supposed to hear the bridge. I could use a lot more. And I'm overdoing it a little bit now, but yeah, a bit less, you know. Overdo it less a little bit. It's just too big. It's a little bit too big, I guess. Because it's one of those things that kind of, you know, although you can read a lot of personality in the nose, especially with more stylized things, it's something you can't make wrong in anatomy. Like, it shows. Like, if the nose is wrong, then you're kind of, then everything is wrong, right? I think the eyebrows, you can make the eyebrows kind of wrong and it still kind of looks right. But yeah, the nose. Oh, this is interesting. I was going to boot up Blender too. Low viewer count too. Well, I just started. I mean, I think like 6 viewers is fine. You know. I just started out. Like, the peak of the viewership is most like in the middle. We once got like 21 viewers, or 20 viewers. I was really excited. This is a full classroom, so I'm pretty happy with that. I mean, I used to stream with no viewers at all, so having people to talk to. I mean, that's the main gist of it. Like, I don't like to work alone. And my girlfriend is out. She left me. It's not true. You didn't leave me. You're still there. But she's out, so I kind of have the home to myself for the moment. And I felt lonely, so I already started streaming early. It's not like it depends from day to day, and depends. Because I don't really announce it on Twitter, because I don't really have a big Twitter following yet, I guess. But it's like, yeah, I don't expect like to get hundreds of viewers with these kinds of streams. I really like that the more fleshed out tutorials have like thousands of views. That's fine. But the streams, you know, they're a bit more laid back for the true fans. Which y'all are, you know. It's like, I think, I don't know any streamer who makes art who gets, on my level, gets a lot more viewers, so. And I think the ones who get truly a lot of either they have a viewership from another. Like, I'm thinking of Robert Ross, for instance, who you know, his main thing isn't streaming art. It is now, I think. But he didn't start out with that, and I think just because he got such a fan base and so connected to the Game Grumps and everything, he enjoys a lot more viewers. But I wouldn't like to stream and have so much chat that I have to check which questions I answer, or have to seep through the messages, or just be spammed with memes. You know, I think I enjoy like having a couple of people to talk to. I know it's nice to have real-time validation. I love that joke. What's it called? Randy, like the puppet. And I can't find more stuff of him, which is, I think it's kind of new. But he kind of has this joke like, people these days, you just make a picture of yourself, post it online, and wait for validation. Just so you can then go around and give them... kind of want the eyebrow to be heavier. I think the upper eyelid is a little bit too heavy here. I don't want to make it too sad. Like, I think there is a difference between tragic and sadness. But I kind of want to... I'm going for a very specific look here. And I think I can achieve it a little bit more by inflating my ego. No, just kidding. Inflating the... Again, without making it look sad. I want to make it look weathered. I want to achieve the goal of having a character that looks like he's been through stuff, you know. I think this kind of fits a little bit better. Like deep eyes, like they say, right? And again, like he kind of looks a little bit too droopy. Might look for some other... Like Tom Hardy is a good reference for this, because he has this definitely this constant I've been through shit look. Like weathered. Of course, a lot of that detail will come in later, where when I like make the... But the basic shape should already be there, right? I even see that this is one shape with him. With Tom Hardy specifically. This is just one shape. And I still want to make it a little bit stylized, right? So inflate this. Just trying out some new anatomy. And not stick to the one thing, you know, that I can do. I kind of overdo it a little bit. This kind of ends a little bit earlier. I think, yeah, I kind of need to smooth this out. Like, and kind of fatten this up. And kind of bring it back just a little bit. And then define the eyelets in here. Yeah. Just gonna go in here. And then again, not make him droopy. That's challenge, all right. I think, yeah, I need to stick out this part a little bit more. There's a bit less, there's a bit less. I kind of ruined it. Cool. Very cool. I'm just gonna flatten this out, this part. I'm gonna try to reshape it a little bit. Personally, I like doing procedural stuff. Sculpting like this impresses me. Yeah, I for a long time also did procedural stuff because I saw it as a... I mean, I don't say that it is, but after a while it became a little bit too limiting in possibilities. And after that, I still want to kind of, because I know a lot of people went or became fan of my channel because of the procedural stuff. But to be very honest, I got kind of overtaken by these nerds. No. By these, I'm gonna have to look for another piece of... Yeah, this is better. Piece of reference, because... Oh, man, I need to get the shape better in here, yeah. It's better. It's really like... And this goes higher, of course. I'm doing something wrong here. I'm just gonna... I know this seems kind of tragic to do, but I think I can read my shape better if I just start over. And I can just blob it out again. Yeah. Oh, man, my fall off is aft. It's hard to not make him look droopy with this kind of eyebrow. Man. Yeah, let's go with this. Yes, like, yeah, I think the eyes need to be a lot closer to each other. Not a lot, but just a little. And just normally they need to be one eye apart, but I'm doing definitely something wrong here. So, oh, that's the wrong object. No. Yeah, I know a lot of people became fan of the channel because of procedural stuff, but then, you know, like there were two phases. First, I was like, yeah, this is kind of limiting on what I want to do because I want to make more characters, and like it came to a point where I had to admit that creating characters and making procedural stuff wasn't really in line with each other. Again, creating shapes and oh, man, I need to flatten this part out because eyebrows are not like that accentuated. Like, again, I'm not trying to make Tom Hardy, but I think he has kind of this good structure. No, this just looks weird. This looks Frankenstein. Yeah, now we're getting there somehow. I think that Sculpt needs to be. Oh, it's a little bit lower. Just might have made the head a little bit too big. There we go. So free to apologize. It's a little bit too much stretched stuff in here. Some say future is procedural. Yes. I mean, the thing is, but it's not procedural like in the way that I liked it, you know. The future is procedural in the way that like AI will kind of take over in a sense that like they're still gonna take us. I think I need to just pull the nose bridge like lower. Just gonna make this less. Make the nose lower. I just. Oh, this looks terrible. Oh, this looks terrible. I made the head smaller because the eyes were just too small. I just made the eyes too small, so I made everything smaller, but not everything looks disproportionate because everything is smaller. Like the neck should be smaller, the shoulders should be smaller. I'm overdoing it a little bit now, but it's just a little bit everything out of proportion now. The eyes need to be lower. I just have to keep my distance a little bit more with this. And redo the shapes. So the eyes go here, and yeah, mine goes a little bit lower. The nose, and we have our skull shape here. Let's draw these lines because I am confusion. So yeah, now I can see like just a little bit more forward, a little bit out there. Then we have our eyebrows here. I'm gonna stop looking at Tom Hardy because he has a weird face. Old man face. No, not old. We'll do that tomorrow. Man. Rugged man reference. That's not ragged, that's just hipster. I mean, things that are done via procedural, yeah, for fully organic workflow. I guess I worded that poorly. I prefer traditional modeling techniques and sculpting. Oh. I mean, sculpting is more traditional if you think about it. But yeah, I'm not gonna fight that point. But like the thing is, I believe that there's gonna be some sense of more creative. Like there's gonna be two fronts. There's gonna be like the technical front and the creative front are being separated more and more. But they need to work together more than ever. In the sense that let's just find something here. Yeah, okay, this is some good reference. Okay, there we go. But they need to work together more in the sense that yeah, how do you say this? Lips are a little bit too prune. There we go. It's there. That, you know, you're gonna have a creative department that does almost everything like procedural. Like they'll be like, oh, I want trees, and they make a tree tool, and they'll just make a forest, and then they'll have sliders for everything. Like sliders are a feature, right? That they can really fast adjust the size of the tree, the color of the tree, the gradient in the tree leaves, how stylized it is. And there's gonna be like tools for this for everything, even for characters. I mean, think about The Sims, right? Character creation tools are gonna be more like The Sims, where you just drag your character, like stylization and stuff, and then on the other side you'll have your technical teams who do the rigging and do all the background stuff, where they make these sliders, and they'll have a more technical, but they'll not be generating the creative stuff. And I think that division is gonna be bigger, but they have to gonna work together very hard, that the artist can say like, I want to have control over this, and the technical artist is like, yeah, okay, I'm gonna give that to you. But now that for a long time there has been kind of this fusion, like modelers had to have a strong strong technical skill as well, because you still need to model things very technical, right? If you want to model like shared, and that becomes more an issue of now we got the shape right. There we go. I don't think I want to. I don't want the eyebrows even thicker. Because yeah, you're gonna have tools for everything, and it's already happening, and everything is gonna be easier to create. But then you either have to be very strong technically and be able to provide these tools, and that's what I mean with these procedural materials. There's people on Twitter, like now for November, that event, that was crazy. Like the things I saw there kind of demotivated me to ever create procedural material again. Now I still do it from time to time, but I consider myself somebody who's more on the creative side, and I've already in my past been pushed to the technical side because apparently I'm a good programmer, but I don't want to be that. I kind of want to be a storyteller. I want to be on the creative side. I want to create stuff. I want to tell the stories. I want to, you know, and that's something I decided then to focus more on that and let that reflect in my channel, in my, I mean, I still make shaders, but you know, less and less. Technology is the backbone, creativity is the fashion. It's a good way of saying it. The process is going to become more automated with self creative input. Yeah, it's just gonna be like for instance, painters back in the day, traditional painters needed a lot more technical savvy about paint, right? They needed to know which kind of paints, how to paint, to achieve certain effects. You needed to know that beforehand, right? Now in Photoshop or Krita or whatever, you can just select your brush and it will already be visually shown, and you can, like, that process has been automated. That process has been made easier for artists, right? And you don't need the technical know-how of what's in Photoshop. I think so. Like painting already kind of has been going to that point where it's a lot easier for people to, still again, the nose. I hate noses. Yeah, this has to all have to more of a V shape. I always forget. I gotta make my noses too flat. They should be more three-dimensional. And this goes inwards and this goes downwards. No, not too much. And it already looks like a better nose. And then I kind of want to, very hard to find these lines I know. And this line, oops, this line. Right, so then we can kind of brush out. I want to flatten that out. You know, really want to accentuate like these, whatever you call them. Bags. Gonna make him look a little bit more tired. Kind of, this nose is a bit too sharp, so let's go in here and fix that. I want to rake this, make it flatter. Yeah, there we go. Do the skeleton nose not make the whole face look like Tyrion Lannister? That could pass on tragic sculpting. How do the skeleton nose? It's maybe a bit too tragic. For things like trees, it's good. Same with characters. That being said, I do think that as an artist, you still should have a background in traditional methods. Yeah. So like every art and craft, you kind of need to know what's going on behind, because that also helps you understand. So you can't be an animator without knowing what a bone does, or you know what. This kind of comes off as the lower eyelid at the moment. Kind of pushing that more in. Let's make it a lower eyelid so that doesn't get confused. I don't want confusing information here. And that's a bit too much. Like, you don't want this information to be. Okay, I want to fix the shape of the eyes a little bit. I'll bring this in here. Let's have the lower eyelids like be down here. Not have him squinting at something. I think I need to have the shape a little bit better here. Push this in, like a little bit more realistic shape. Push this out. I kind of want to give him a little bit of an outline of hair, just to be able to build the character a little bit better. Let's go until here. Just using the blob tool to kind of create a hairline. Now I can kind of see that. Like, I don't want to push this too much back. Oof. Your ear is a little bit too elven there. I don't know. I think one thing important to understand if you're sculpting is that you're working with a surface. Because one thing I definitely learned a little bit was to not like always add stuff if you're adding stuff, if that makes sense. Just like I'm making hair, so I can just drag this out, you know. Just want the surface to convey that that's hair. Of course, now it looks like it's super curly. We don't want that, so we're just gonna flatten it out again. I'm just gonna go very cheaply now. I kind of want a sharp hairline. I'm just like trying to copy something I'm seeing between the things here. Can be a bit lower, a little bit fuller here, a bit less here. Not make this weird haircut. Just be around. I don't know. I can kind of create this wave. Destroyed the ear. Cool. Yeah, should be a little bit higher though. I think the jaw can be a little bit broader. Mouth a little bit smaller. I create weird hair. Should make more of these. Why does the hair look weird? I'm gonna flatten this here because I'm making a mess here. Just like try to get a more convincing hairline here. Yeah. Flatten this. Want a stronger jawline without it looking too round, so I'm just gonna push the cheekbone, push the rest back here a little bit. Technology should not be a racing tool, but simply another one in the kit. To build a house, yeah, so that's basically it. Like, we'll get more and more tools, and that's just nice. Like, I don't think, because I definitely heard people like, oh no, our jobs are going to be obsolete, and I just think some traditional jobs are going to be obsolete. Sure, I think like the term technical artist is going to fall out of fashion, I think, very quickly. I think there was a need for a lot of technical, strong, savvy artists out there to kind of fill a gap between, you know, a lot of small studios need all-rounders who can, at the same time, know their, for instance, three-point lighting, and at the same time, kind of, I'm gonna put the shoulders in a better position here. And at the same time, let's finish my thought here. Like, you know, they know three-point lighting and they know how to make something look pretty, but at the same time, they know how to write a code snippet for like Python or something, you know. And I think there was, for a long time, a need for that kind of artist. I think it's still going to be important, right? You can't make, because it's going to be both sides, because if you're creating a tool for artists, you kind of need the basic artistic, because they need to work together more, and you kind of need that knowledge still. So yeah, it's definitely not going to come to a point where you don't need to know. It's just going to be easier to create stories. It's just going to be easier to and I think that's the part that I'm looking forward to most. I think, like, it's just gonna be, I mean, it's already kind of here, right? I'm sculpting in a free software package, carefree. I don't need to know any technical, I just need to know my brushes and to have enough polys, and then I can create characters. If you already kind of look at it that way, then his hair is way too wavy. Like, as long as you don't bring any detail, it's kind of... Trying to get a little more realistic concept art. Might give him a beard. So maybe even stick this closer to the skull. You know, shape this off a little bit. Get these shapes in here. Shape of the hair is very important, because here, like, it still looks like George Michael, you know, wavy hair, and we don't want that. But at the same time, I don't want to create a soldier here. The perfect man, the perfect cheekbones. A little bit too perfect of a chin. Yeah, cheekbones definitely are a bit too much. I think maybe to the side a little bit more. But maybe it looks a little bit too angry now. little bit too much Schwarzenegger in him. But yeah, technology is a great thing. Can't wait to see what people come up with. I just want to tell stories. I'm even like busy on something that I would like to share already, but still working on it. Oh, Mrs. Cheeks a little bit too chubby. Slowly, like getting him away from being a little bit too out there with his proportions. Getting him to more, yeah, he's slowly becoming a little bit more realistic and not as dreamy. There we go. I think the perfect neck doesn't help here. Let's give him a beard. I don't want to make more beards. Kind of like the last one. This is a little bit too much. As well, mustache. Might as well. Full beard. Go full beard. Oops. It's not full beard. It's just weird. Yeah, I'm gonna bother about bringing the lips back under the mustache later. Try and layer the beard in a way that doesn't look too groomed. So it looks a little bit like you just grew it out. Bring it a little bit more forward. It kind of starts to look like a friend of mine. And what's tragic about this that I can't grow a beard like this? What will be tragic about this sculpt? Yeah, I just answered that. That I don't look as manly as this man. Now I'm trying to get an expression in there of like if you look at him, you're kind of like, oh, there's a history here. So I'm getting there slowly. I think, I hope. Yeah, maybe just a little sculpt it a little bit in shape here. Kind of made it too messy here, so. Like one thing we can already do is kind of bring his eyes a bit down. Give him more of a rested expression. I don't really want to think about the expression a little bit. I feel like I put the eyes a little bit too much in the skull. So I'm pushing them a little bit out. Okay. Cool. Yeah, looks a little bit better. I want them deep, but I don't want them unrealistically deep. I think I could just move the jaw a little bit back. Get the same result. No, I was wrong. There we go. I think I just don't like this curve, maybe. Dude. Remesh him for a second. Like if I can convey tragicness in somebody's expression, then I kind of succeeded, right, in life. Or just, you know, in sculpting. This bit. I want this less to be a Well, I want this more just to be a scruffy beard and not the mustache going like all the way down. He's a man who hasn't taken care of himself in a while. We're gonna make these patches of beard here. Oops. Make this pretty stylized. Trying to find some shapes in here. Smooth it out again. Should first smooth it out and then find the shapes. It's gonna be easier. I mean, again, this doesn't necessarily have to look like a groomed beard, so. It still looks a bit too angry for my taste. I think also the eyebrows kind of like. Angry eyebrows but sad eyelids. Maybe that's the key. Accentuate the eyebrows here a little bit. Oh, this makes more sense if there we go. Trying to get some satisfying shapes in here. Not super hard succeeding. There we go. I'm not gonna do the front of the head just yet because I kind of want to turn off symmetry for that. So don't want. I kind of want to keep the skin flat so it doesn't look like the skin is being pushed in, you know. It's gonna make it a little bit fatter. I'm bringing the shapes in here with the blob brush, smoothing it out so those edges are gone. And I'm gonna put some strength to my crease brush because I hate going over the same lines 100 times. So, there we go. And they look a little bit too sharp, so I'm gonna fatten them up a little bit. But what can be sharp is, of course, the edges here. Just push these out. Gonna follow some lines here. I think I have to go more into detail. So let's go to 0.004 and go to over 1 million polys. Now we can go really into detail. Like I said, I don't want to spend too long on this one. Make this pretty simple. But, you know, achieve our goal. Got our mouth line here. Okay, so I'm not used to... Oh, somebody's home. Hey! How you doing? I'm streaming. Oh, she just has her headphones on. She doesn't even know I'm here. Being ignored. She's singing. Like more of a lower lip. Let's see if we can go a little bit more detail. Making this too surfacey. Just need to protrude this from below here. I don't want to make it too detailed because the detail I put in here I have to pull through the entire thing, so I think this also looks kind of weird like this, not being filled up. Kind of looks like. Hi, babe.
Hi.
Yeah, that's better. Let me just redo the shapes here. Yeah, there we go. Let's get these shapes a little bit further than, you know, these smaller shapes. Let's really push them in here. You know what? For strength 2.8 or something. Let's see what this does. Yeah, there we go. Hmm? Soep?
Dat is heel goeie.
Oké.
En je al gegeten?
Kan beter, ja.
Ontbeten.
Hè?
Ontbeten.
Ja. Dat is een raar woord, hè? And maybe this has to go more downwards, like this. I'm not an expert in here. This just looks weird. Reference. Help me. Yeah, this does go a little bit more like this, and then go smooth it in. Don't worry about the ear later. And we can just use a grab brush to get these these spikes going. Curling all kinds of ways. Still keeping it symmetrical for now. Smooth it out. Just very lightly. Just those wrinkles are gone. And then we go in here and we start pulling a more stylized look into this. And pulling a little bit more detail. I don't want to go too much detail, right? So I do kind of want this look to be complete. Let's make another line here. Let's move to that. It's too much detail. It looked nice, but it's kind of weird that you have like too much detail at one place and then not enough at the other. I go like this. Have your detail consistent. That's a good tip. Have it for free. Well, everything is for free on this channel. I considered making paid content. but I don't really see the point. Can make paid content once I really master something and can show it to you. Well, there was this point made about paid content looking more legitimate, because if you make something for free, then why would you make something for free that's really worth something, right? But I don't believe that's yeah, a valid point. I believe in free knowledge. Don't hold that against me if I make a paid course, which, you know, at some point I might make. Weet je qua boterhammen hebben? Ik heb boter? Brood mee. Ah ja, moet toetje maken.
Ah, tot, maar ik heb ook gewoon brood. Hè. Ik heb kipcurry ook mee.
Ah ja, ik wil een boterham met curry. Ja. Sorry for the Dutchness. I think these hairs might be a bit too long. I'm just gonna create some new shapes in here. Yeah, that's better. It's more layered. I'm gonna turn off the mirror modifier. If I'm gonna sculpt the hair, I can turn it back on once I'm working on the face again. That's a little bit too blobby. It's definitely a mistake I made yesterday. Like, make shapes not straight enough. There we go. Like straight shapes, straight shapes, straight shapes. Back here. Put the strength a little bit down again for the ear, and I'm gonna put the fall off back on. Smooch. There we go. I'm bringing the ear a little bit more to a solid shape instead of this weird blob that's hanging behind him. Oh, I didn't symmetrize that, did I? Well then. Consider me a fool. I think I got his expression down. I'm gonna do less of the bust now because I really wanna have most of the face. I'm just gonna scrape this away. I think like a Dine Topo might be better for scraping, because scraping with polys and all that. Now just pushing them together like crazy. I might just do the thing, you know. Yeah, look, here it starts to become a little bit too crazy. I might just keep it like this. Use the inflate tool here. There we go. Fix it. Yeah, I don't want to apologize. Should have thought about that sooner. Yeah. You really want to pay attention to your entire sculpt during sculpting, not only the pieces you're working on. That's fine. This is fine. Like the burning building. This is fine. Gonna real quickly sculpt the eyes here. I want to see what I'm gonna do with this. Let me just apply subdivision here and cast it into the fires of Mount Doom. Factor 1. Apply. Not that it matters a lot, but you know, radial 8. Cool. Yeah, I definitely want to remesh this. 0.01. Smooth normals. How many polys did I just make? Okay, 0.025. Okay. Oh, thanks, babe. You're the best. I'll take more realistic eyes like this. And let's just do the thing again. Middle, mirror it, apply it, and then move it over to the right. And I do want to fix here. I'm gonna start cleaning up the sculpt. Oh man, I'm so hungry suddenly. Whoops. What did I do? A whoopsie. Yeah, I did. So, sculpt mode, turn off radial, and mirror. There you go. So the face should still be symmetrized. Yeah, I'm gonna bring the strength here back to 0.2 somewhat. Control C some of that. There we go. That's better. Make my shapes a little bit more confident here. There we go. These do like make it look chaotic by not cleaning it up, but I think it looks nicer this way. I think here we can create some texture. Here we don't have to be too detailed because she's from afar, but still like, why not? Just a few brush strokes. There you go. Not make it too sharp. Kind of want to make it a little bit scruffier. So I'm just gonna point some of these outwards. Might do the same thing I did to the beard where let's see how this looks. Layer this a little bit more. Let's first put a line here in between these things. And perhaps use a snake hook brush to let's focus on this for just to fall off on this linear. No. Smooth. There we go. Gonna use a grab brush though. What the hell was that? Sometimes I see things appearing on the screen. And that scared me to death in Death Stranding. No spoilers, but you can have these holograms. Put these up along the landscape and other players can see them. And there's the holograms of Horizon Zero Dawn. There's an Easter egg in there. Just, you know, to thank the is it Gorilla Studio for their help. And yeah, you have this big one, this long neck, that really kind of sticks out. And it appeared for a second on my screen. I didn't know it was in the game, and it scared. And it was like 2 o'clock, and I just went to bed thinking I was starting to hallucinate. I like the expression here. For me, it looks like a 1,000-yard stare. Definitely tragic. What are the small balls in there? It's just to fake reflection a little bit. Nothing more. I've got my last piece of reference here because I need a little bit more detail. I want more detail, more to speak. I'm just gonna put more lines in here. Thought out lines. Without making him look too old, right? I think the way I'll make him look old is by making the skin too thin. So I still want like stronger shapes here. Can look a little bit older, but and maybe fine tune his look a little bit. Have a little bit of a frown going on here. Yeah, there we go. It looks tragic. It looks like a deep sadness, which I went for. I'm just gonna disable the symmetry here and just make subtle. I can make his nose like a little bit askew, like this. A bit broken. And we can like a little bit here to find a better shape to make the beard trim a little bit in one way, you know. There we go. Just brush around a little bit in here. Maybe smiling a little bit. Kind of bothered by this. Just hide it away. There we go. I feel like it's raining. Like it has been raining the entire time through this playlist. It's rainy jazz. Bringing these marks a little bit more. The other side as well, because I don't have symmetry on. Yeah. Find the lines a little bit better here. These ones can be a little bit less, you know, messy. Final line in here. I really like. Scar? Or was I? Looks a little bit too much on the nose. So I'll put it on the nose. And just a scar here, you know. Kind of pinch it together. So it looks super good now. Yeah, there we go. Make him a little bit weathered. Add a little bit of story. Yeah, there we go. Let's go to lighting. Okay. It's just a very small sculpture I made. Alright, I'm pretty happy with this one. Happier than yesterday. It's a nice practice sculpt, you know. Let's get these lights in order. Lights aren't even shining. First wanna put this light in the correct. Kind of emphasizes our expression here. I think I've chickened out too much on the hair here. Should have a little bit more definition. I love how my cursor lags, but the sculpting goes smooth. I don't know why I put this shape in here. I'm not sure if it makes much sense. Might. Oh. Let me use our pinch tool a little bit. Bring everything a little bit closer together. Got some interesting shapes in here. You know. Sharpness, good. Like we intended these shapes, right? There we go. Still bothered by this. It's not really good, is it? There we go. I might need to make more of that. Yeah, I'm stretching the polys too much here. It's a bit of a mess. Let's just grab them and push them a little bit more in a curve. There we go. Wow. You made me soup. No, it's still hot. Still good. There we go. I don't know. I'm kind of have to bring in this detail for the hair. I think it's kind of necessary. I don't want to push into the skin too much, but it looks like he has stitches, but kind of helps emphasizing the hair. Some creative choices, you know. Yeah, it definitely looks again a little bit blobby. I need to find a better way to do hair. Without having like hours of cleanup to do before it looks good. You know? I think the beard turned out pretty great. I should just give him a hat. Now, let's see how it looks. It looks a lot better already. So, kind of want the camera a little bit like, yeah. Maybe we'll have a little bit more neutral lighting. Of course, give this our famous shader. See, now this kind of ball functions a little bit, giving detail to the yeah. There we go. I'm pretty happy with this. So it's kind of weird, but I think this will not show up in the render. I think I made a more frontal view. Why is my camera rotated? Oh, that's the that's weird. Let's make it a little bit. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with this one. We'll learn a few more tricks and anatomy stuff. I'm gonna render this one out. See how the render looks. Hey, loving your SculptJanuary so far. Thanks, Richard. There we go. It's our sculpt. I'm happy with it. What do you think?
Ooh, that's pretty, baby. Well done.
Thank you.
Yeah, I really like it. What's the theme today?
Tragic.
Tragic.
Yeah, that's why he has such a tragic look. He has like, I left my village burning to come here. I don't know. It's open for interpretation, I guess. But there we go. So the usual thing. Banger! I want to thank all my Patreon for supporting me. If you want to support me, you can go to patreon.com/bandite. Check out the tiers there. There's some bonuses if you want extra feedback, videos feedback, or something. You can always follow me on Patreon. If you want just private feedback, DM me on Twitter, or just post to me on Twitter at @gentingent, or follow me on there if you want to see the refined, the finished products of SculptJanuary. So anyway, those are the two links. Like and subscribe if you want to see more, if you want to get updated when I'm streaming next. I'll be streaming tomorrow again. So got that going for us. Thanks, Gregor. It does look amazing. I'm pretty happy with it. So yeah, keep in mind, use reference, strong lines, and make everything nice and smooth. And confident lines. Those are the rules we already put in place. So thanks for watching, everybody, and see you tomorrow.